Welcome to Project Beast. There's a moment in life that changes everything, and most people don't even realize when it happens. It's not the moment you get stronger, not when you get richer, not when people start respecting you. It's quieter than that, internal, invisible. It's the moment you stop needing. That moment is detachment. Most people move through life emotionally attached to outcomes, to people, to validation, to being understood. They need the reply. They need the approval. They need the recognition. And because they need it, they can be controlled by it. The moment you detach, you become dangerous in a way that has nothing to do with aggression. You become powerful because your emotional stability is no longer for sale. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means your peace is no longer dependent on how things turn out. You still act, you still try, you still build, but your identity is no longer tied to the result. And that shift changes how the world responds to you. When you are attached, people can feel it. They feel when you're trying too hard to be liked. They feel when you're afraid to lose them. They feel when your mood depends on their behavior. That emotional dependency creates an invisible imbalance. It lowers your perceived value without you saying a word. But when you detach, something strange happens. You become calmer, slower in your reactions, more selective with your energy. Your presence changes. You're no longer reaching outward for reassurance. You're standing inward, grounded. That grounded energy creates psychological weight. Detachment is the end of emotional chasing. You stop chasing people who are unsure about you. You stop chasing opportunities that disrespect you. You stop chasing validation from those who never planned to give it. And when you stop chasing, you start choosing. That's where power lives, in choice, not need. Most people think power looks like control over others. Real power is control over your own emotional impulses. The ability to feel something deeply and still decide your response. The ability to want something and still walk away if it costs your self-respect. Detachment is emotional self-respect in action. It's saying, I would like this, but I do not require it to be okay. That mindset makes you unhookable. Drama doesn't pull you in the same way. Manipulation loses its grip. Guilt stops working as a leash. When someone tries to provoke you, they don't find emotional handles to grab onto. They find stillness. And stillness is intimidating to people who rely on emotional reactions to feel in control. Detachment also sharpens your judgment. When you're emotionally tangled, you overlook red flags, you excuse bad behavior, you hold on to situations long past their expiration date because you're afraid of losing the feeling, the history, or the potential. But when you detach, you see clearly. You're not blinded by what you hope something could be. You see what it is, and clarity leads to cleaner decisions. Cleaner decisions lead to a cleaner life. You start investing energy where it's returned. You start walking away earlier from things that drain you. You start valuing your time and attention as limited resources, not unlimited offerings. That's when your standards rise naturally without you forcing them. Detachment also changes how you handle success and failure. When you're attached to outcomes, success inflates you and failure destroys you. Your emotional state swings wildly based on external events. But when you detach, you become stable. You do your best, but your self-worth doesn't rise and fall with the result. You win, you learn, you adjust, you move. You lose, you learn, you adjust, you move. No emotional collapse, no desperate overreactions, just forward motion. That consistency builds quiet confidence, not loud performative confidence, the kind that doesn't need to announce itself, the kind that comes from knowing you can survive disappointment, rejection, and change without losing yourself. And that makes you resilient. Detachment is also what allows you to love and connect in a healthier way. That sounds backwards, but it's true. When you're not clinging to people out of fear of being alone, you show up more honestly. You're not performing to avoid abandonment. You're not tolerating disrespect just to keep someone around. You're there because you choose to be, not because you're afraid not to be. That kind of presence feels different. It feels free, and people can sense when they're with someone who is choosing them rather than needing them. It creates mutual respect instead of silent pressure. Detachment isn't coldness, it's emotional independence. It's being able to sit in uncertainty without panicking. It's trusting that even if things fall apart, you will rebuild. It's knowing that your foundation is internal, not external. And when your foundation is internal, nothing outside of you can completely shake you. That's when you stop reacting to every little thing. You don't jump to defend yourself at every misunderstanding. You don't rush to prove your worth to people who already decided not to see it. You don't scramble to fix every opinion someone has about you. You conserve your energy. And conserved energy becomes focused energy. Focused energy builds results. Results build leverage. Leverage builds real-world power. All from a quiet, internal shift of, I don't need this to be okay. Detachment also protects your long-term vision. When you're attached to short-term comfort, you make decisions to avoid temporary discomfort. You stay in situations that stunt your growth because leaving feels scary. You say yes when you should say no because rejection feels heavy. But detachment lets you tolerate short-term discomfort for long-term alignment. You can walk alone for a while. You can endure misunderstanding. You can delay gratification because you're no longer addicted to immediate emotional relief. That discipline compounds. While others are reacting, you're building. While others are arguing, you're improving. While others are trying to control how they're perceived, you're strengthening who you actually are. And over time, the gap becomes visible. People start saying you changed, you seem calmer, harder to read, more focused, less available for nonsense. What they're really noticing is that you're no longer emotionally accessible to everything. Access to you is now earned, not automatic. That is power. Detachment is the moment you realize you can experience desire without being enslaved by it. You can care without clinging. You can try without desperation. You can lose without losing yourself. That emotional self-containment creates a presence that doesn't beg, doesn't chase, and doesn't collapse under pressure. It stands. And when you stand like that long enough, life starts adjusting around you. Your standards shape your environment. Your boundaries filter your relationships. Your focus shapes your results. Not because you forced the world to change, but because you changed what you tolerate and what you pursue. That's the real shift. Power isn't loud, it isn't dramatic. It's a quiet withdrawal from emotional dependency. The moment you stop saying, I can't be okay without this, and start saying, I prefer this, but I'll be solid either way, you step into a different level of existence. You become someone who moves with intention instead of emotional urgency. That is the law of detachment. The moment you emotionally release your grip on outcomes, people, and validation is the moment you become powerful. Because now your actions come from choice, not fear. Your calm comes from stability, not avoidance. And your presence carries weight because nothing outside of you is holding your center hostage. This is Project Beast. If this mindset resonates with you, subscribe to Project Beast for more psychology of power, discipline, and modern beast mentality. Stay grounded, stay dangerous.
I love the energy.